All right, hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in once again to the Black Box Podcast, BBOR Black Box Online Radio. Now, I did a recent upload on the presidential candidate Andrew Yang. As I mentioned in that one, he is a sort of kind of subject of fascination for me at this time. But I also remembered that I left out some very important things that I thought I would talk about in this upload, because we also have a representative from the state of Maryland, John Delaney, running for the presidency. Now, what I think is very interesting about John Delaney's campaign is sort of something that Andrew Yang also has, and I'll tie it all in together in a second. But I just wanted to say that I was listening to John Delaney at the TED conference. I believe he did a TEDx talk at Pennsylvania Avenue, and what he is talking about is a philosophy of government, where you have it sort of centered on the individual. He's sort of talking about, to reduce healthcare costs, what we need to do is first do things like give people better living conditions. If we just improved living conditions for people, we would have to spend less on healthcare and, this, that, and the other, take that to the bank. And that's very similar to what Andrew Yang is talking about with his new view on capitalism. It's all about trying to improve the lives of everyday citizens to create a positive benefit to society. And I just find this is the sort of mentality that comes from a lot of fringe candidates. Very, very few mainstream candidates are presenting their ideas this way. The mainstream candidates are just much more kind of flat talking points that can be interpreted in a variety of ways, but that's it. That's just flat. They're trying to reach a lot of voters by just being bland. And maybe you can think of a few examples that come to mind. When it comes to the people who are sort of, starting out from the lesser-known backgrounds, like Andrew Yang and John Delaney, you do get this sense that they are at least trying to invest in the individual, because that's what Andrew Yang's universal basic income plan is all about. It's all about investing in the workers and the thinkers and the college students and everybody ages 18 to 64. If we center our government on the citizens, as opposed to the bureaucrats and the oligarchs and the tyrants and the people who are planning the wars, maybe we'll have a more qualitative and quantitative success. Maybe we'll just have more success for the American people. So I'm really hoping for the best, and I try to approach these things with a lot of optimism. On the note about wars, I would say that even the libertarians are talking about ending the wars, and they're talking about getting involved less in the American empire, if you will, trying to be the policeman of the world. Now, I can't wait to hear more from Andrew Yang and John Delaney when they actually had to debate things like foreign policy, because these guys are very much centered on economics. Both of them are businessmen. Both of them have, financial backgrounds. Both of them are interested in entrepreneurship. But it's always fascinating to hear candidates who come from that background discussing the geopolitical questions, and I look forward to more of that in the future. But it was just rather interesting just to think about how we can use this chance, running for president, to really just talk about some new things that we should expect of people in the 21st century. We do not really need any sort of candidates at all, ever, that are just going to be catering to big oil, catering to the arms companies, catering to the mega banks. Maybe you've heard something about that from time to time. So, I want to hear more politicians talk about people trying to benefit the ordinary average individual, or even just the great thing about Andrew Yang's plan is it also gives the same $1,000 a month, to the children of Bill Gates. Everybody gets it. And that's the kind of fairness that we need to be talking about. Everybody ages 18 to 64. And you can find this sort of type of thinking in other third parties. I've mentioned the Humanity Party before. They have an absolutely very similar plan. They want just to reduce poverty. They want to reduce poverty by improving the living conditions for the citizens of America. The libertarians with the prebate plan in the fair tax. The fair tax is all about, again, trying to reduce poverty and improve living conditions for the American citizens. Everybody's coming to this sort of conclusion. We need to improve the daily life of Americans all across the spectrum. Because a lot of people are really just not really getting by. They are dealing with things like poverty, and they're dealing with things like illiteracy. I mean, we don't even have, a 90% literacy rate in America. So there are a lot of things that people can do that will, well, let's just say it's a very good opportunity to try and bring some ideas forward that will benefit all people. The 1% and the 99% together, the 100%. Well, all right. I look forward to hearing more of that and over the next coming months. What do you think? I want to hear. Talk to you soon.